What's going on, guys? Man, oh man, long time no see. I'm gonna get into cruise control here. Figures, right? I washed my car yesterday and then it rains today. Of course it does. Anyways, wanted to give you guys a little update. I hadn't made a video in a long time due to a couple things, but the big thing was I got into an accident. Everything's mostly okay, but I was pushed off the road by an 18-wheeler, pushed down an embankment, pushed off 40 actually, this road right here, going 65, maybe a little more, and he like pit maneuvered me. He was on this side when it spun my back end out because he tried to steer into my lane. When I looked out my window, I was looking up at a semi front bumper because my car was sideways. So when I jerked the wheel back to the right, it shot my car off the road, down an embankment, and I narrowly missed a huge tree head on at about 65, 70 miles an hour. And I missed it by about 6 inches or so. Car spun sideways because I was trying to steer to the left of that car, of the tree, not of the car, of the tree, hit the car, went sideways, and then I smashed the passenger door. I wouldn't say wrapped it around a tree, but it smashed into the tree. Airbags and everything went off. And the one thing I was thinking, like I looked down, because I knew what had happened, and I know it was only like a second for the whole thing to happen, but it felt like it was all slow motion. And I don't know, just instincts kind of trying not to die, I think, really. That's the reality. And I'm a pretty lucky person, just on day-to-day type stuff. So I don't know, man. It was really weird when the accident, because it was so calm when everything was over. Because I remember his front wheels on the semi grinding right at my door. I'm going to cut in some pictures and show you guys what happened, so you can see where his front lug nuts chewed up right on my rear tire and by my door. Pit maneuvered me, and then you can see where on the skids on the road, where I shot like this, shot off, and then down an embankment, and it had been raining. So you can see where I was in the second lane. He was in the third, pushed me off. Missed that tree and hit over here. I don't know how my car found enough traction to steer around that tree from hitting that sucker head on. I don't think I would have been alive if I hit that tree head on. Maybe. I mean, Honda Civics are very safe cars. I believe the motor is supposed to like drop down, and then the crumple zone is supposed to come in. It wouldn't have been a pretty recovery. So on to my story. After the accident was over and my car was stopped, because it's an awful loud, violent sound, airbags popping off and all of that, I like looked down, my hands were on the wheel, and like I looked at, like I got goosebumps right now trying to tell you guys, and I thought that maybe I had died. I was like, looked down, I was like, am I living or am I dying or what's going on? Because I felt no pain at all. There was no blood. There was no broken bones. And it like took me like 10 seconds to like figure out that I'm not dead. And it's a really eerie feeling, because I've always heard that when you die or pass away, or people who have near-death experiences, or like the oddly calm feeling. There was not even I promise you, I don't feel like my heart rate was even sped up. And I was wearing my watch, so I probably could have seen my heart rate and had a record of that. I didn't think to look. But it was just so calm. Peaceful is probably the wrong word. But I just felt like, oh. And then the relief of knowing I didn't die. There's no blood. It was almost like a euphoric feeling, like, holy shit, the car doesn't matter. Like, I opened up my door and stepped out of my car and stood up. No broken. Like, I'm looking like it can't be real. I hit a tree, because I did hit another tree, and the passenger door caved it all in. Like, I hit a tree going 60 miles an hour or so, and nothing happened to me. It was so bizarre and eerie. I can't really describe it in words. I was like, almost like had a feeling of thankfulness. Sitting in my totaled car, just being no blood, no nothing. I stepped out, looked up the embankment, because, it was probably a 20-foot. I don't know why there wasn't a guardrail there. Again, I don't know if I've already, but I'm going to cut in some photos when I come down that embankment. I don't know how the car didn't flip over when I'm steering it to the left, because it was shot straight at this tree that was almost as wide as my car. So I don't know how when I cut it left, it got traction because the grass was so wet. I don't know how I was able to keep my wits about me and steer around that tree. I hate to use the word miracle, but it kind of was, and also how I had my wits about me. So anyways, I look up the embankment after I was standing outside of my car, look up, and there's a pregnant lady. She looks like she's about to pop in a minivan, so I figured there might even be more kids in there. So she stopped. She said, I seen everything. I was behind you guys. She said, he just come right in your lane and steered you off. Are you okay? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to call the police. I was like, no, hold on a second. And I don't know why. I guess I was still kind of in shock. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't texting. I was in my own lane. And the truck was tried to come into my lane. So I think that we had matched speeds or something, or he had matched my speed. It must have forgot that I was there and then tried to steer back into the slow lane, because I was not into the slow lane. Like I was in the second lane, and he was in the third lane. Highway 40 is about a 5-lane highway, so I don't know. I know that I had to have been in this blind spot, but he didn't stop. The driver did not stop, kept going, and it was kind of a mess. Luckily, my wife and I are the type to, if there's insurance, we want all of it. You know what I mean? Better safe than sorry. So we had uninsured motorists. We've got all the stuff to cover me, and that's how they filed that, an uninsured motorist, because it was a hit and run. So I called the cops myself. I called 911 myself. I'm on mile marker so-and-so. You don't need to send a fire truck. Don't hurt yourself getting here. I'm here with a witness, and she saw everything. Hit and run accident. Cars down an embankment where I hit a tree. Of course, they still sent the ambulance, and I didn't go in the ambulance because I didn't know how everything was going to be filed. I probably should have, but it didn't matter in the long run. My wife came immediately. For some reason, she was home. But this was right before, January 28th. Was that before Kobe passed away or not? I can't remember. I think it was a few weeks after, maybe a week after or something. I really don't remember. But man, this whole year that's like the whole year. I start making videos again, and then I had that accident. I was supposed to give away that ProTech. So anyways, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is that I'm going to do that video soon. It's not right that I've held it that long. I've been well enough to do that, but we start working on the house, and now that mortgage rates are so low, we're going to refi our home. We've just got to get it appraised and do all that, but I think we're going to be able to save about 2 points, which is awesome. Anyways, so yeah, I need to make that video. I took a new knife in on a trade, so I'll be doing a little review on this. This is the McGinnis, one of his pro lines. I like it. I'll save it for the review. I'm not in love with it, but as a tool, I really like it. There's just some things about design choices, as far as cosmetic design choices. It's a great knife. So spoiler, it'll be a fun review though. I think I've been carrying it about 2 weeks now, maybe 3. Fun stuff. So yep. And then with the virus, I hope everybody's okay. The only thing that I can think is that we're all getting through this thing together. Everybody's in the same spot. So if you're having financial difficulty or finding it hard to pay bills or going crazy, everybody's the same, almost in the same position. My wife and I actually are deemed essential. Of course, wine. I'm in the wine business, so they've deemed that essential in North Carolina, which I'm very thankful for. But some of the people at my wife's restaurant, they're actually getting paid more to sit at home, but it's only going to last, I think, 4 months or something. That extra $600 a week. But she's almost having a hard time being able to find people to come in because they're making more sitting home. The only downside is you can't depend on those people, so why should they have a job when you reopen? But you need your people, and you got to understand, but at the same time, the business can't operate if nobody comes to work, so just kind of dealing with that. I don't know how this audio is going to be. I just figured I'd write a few bullet points down and get you guys updated. I want to let you know that I hadn't forgot that I have a YouTube channel. As far as the wreck and everything goes, I bought the same exact car, just a year newer, and I put about 80,000 miles on that other one. So I just bought another Civic. That thing held up. I feel like it still was a very safe car, even though like I hit the passenger side. But if you ran a car sideways into a tree I come right off the highway down an embankment and hit that tree. I know even if I could scrub off speed by throwing the car sideways, I still had to hit that thing around 45 or 50. I mean, of course I was on the brakes jamming it. But no injuries except for some back injuries, which I've been dealing with back issues. It's made it worse. And some days are better than other days, but I had to buy the same car. I just felt like, man, I've already tested this thing. I know it's safe. I know it's good on gas. I know they're reliable. I know I got this car for like $5,400 or something like that. And I drive a lot, so and we don't get a gas stipend or anything like that. So anyways, I'm happy with it. The new car is automatic, so I hated that I got rid of my manual at first, but the automatic started to grow on me as like you do a lot of city driving and slowdowns on the highway, stuff like that. Manuals are not that fun when you gotta ride 10, 15 miles an hour on the highway. Man, it is so like, not PTSD type stuff, but I'm so cautious when I get around these 18-wheelers now. And I have a lot of experience driving big trucks, not quite 18-wheeler size, but like a 28-foot box truck, so something like an International that sits up, dual tanks on the side. They're almost as tall as semi. And the first thing that the cop was like, he's the sheriff, he said, happens all the time, you know, they could have maybe had a dirty log book, maybe they didn't feel you. He had a bunch of different reasons, but I know from a fact, if you push a car off the road, you feel that in your front tires. I could see if his trailer swung into me or something, his front leading tires ran into my back. His lug nuts on his front chewed up my driver's side door, so he felt it. Just didn't stop. My kids had a hard time. My oldest boy, actually, he's about 14, had a hard time. Like, at first he's like, Daddy? I was like, yeah, honey. He's trying to lay down at night. He goes, you think that person's sleeping tonight not knowing if you died or not? Like, not knowing if they killed somebody? It's like, that's a good question, buddy. I don't know. I know that I'm okay, and that's all we have to worry about. Everything else can be replaced, you know. So anyways, one of the things I also wanted to talk about is I've never been through something quite that traumatic as far as me personally, like almost close to death. It does make you start looking at life a little different. My idea of tangible items almost mean nothing to me. I never really placed a lot of value on things. Even though if you look at my knife channel, you would think, what do you mean? You got a knife collection, you got, you know, all this whatever money wrapped up in knives. What do you mean you don't care? Like, I place almost zero emphasis on like rarity of things, just things in general. Like, and I know I was already kind of feeling that way, and that was another tangent that I wanted to get into. But my whole goal when I started collecting knives was not to collect knives. Was I wanted like 5 knives that were like perfect. My journey, like a lot of you guys, was to find the perfect EDC knife. So like I wanted to get the perfect folder, and then I wanted to get like a good camp knife, and then I wanted to get like a larger fixed blade, and I don't know, maybe like a gentleman's knife or something like that. I think about 5 knives you could really do it. Not counting your kitchen knives, of course. You know, get you a slip joint, get you a nice small folder, whether it's gentleman's, like a small Sabenza, something like that, and then get a large knife, some hard use. Get you like a smaller fixed blade, and then get you a larger fixed blade. Really, I mean, that seems like it could cover about 95% of everything that a person could ever need. So that was my entire goal, and I kind of reached that when I got the Sabenza. But then you start getting into the art, the design of it, like mechanical sculpture type artistry of everything, and then you get into knife sharpening and then testing the different steels. It's just a really fun hobby, and I still have that same passion for that hobby. I don't have as much time to devote to that hobby, you know, as far as making videos and stuff. If this video goes over well, I can still make videos. I could do this almost every day going to work, but I won't. There's not enough talking points for me, and I have no idea. I hooked my headphone up here for the microphone because did you know, and I know this is a tangent, and I'm going to get back to material and knife collecting and how I feel and the life changing, but did you know that AirPods off of the native iPhone camera app, if you think that you have your earpiece in when you record video and your microphone is working off of your AirPod, it's not. I found that out because I tried to put my AirPod in and do this video Friday. before I went for the weekend. Today's Monday. And I was like, man, I still hear so much car audio. What's going on? So then I tapped the thing to see if it was working. It wasn't registering my taps or anything. Like if you cover a microphone, right, you should be able to hear the difference. So anyways, you got to use another program like Filmic or Filmic Pro, and then there's Movie Maker or something like that. And then you can use, but the bit rate or whatever it is for the Bluetooth on the AirPod 1 sounds like a tin can. They sound awful. So you're better off just to plug in the microphone that came with it and use that. So we'll see. I just thought that was like, what? How do other apps figure it out? But Apple's native camera app does not use the AirPods as the microphone. Strange. So, anyways, nice little tangent. I know you guys missed that. I did. I was just like, how crazy? It just doesn't make sense. So, anyways, after the accident, after telling you guys what my goals were to find a good EDC, I did that a long time ago. So it's like I don't have, and then especially after the accident now, I just don't have the feeling of wanting to acquire new knives. As far as keep spending more money. I already have too much money tied up in my current knives. So I think what I'm gonna do, just for fun and maybe to make some content, will be maybe trade some knives, maybe sell some knives, and then use that money that I've already invested into the collection to, do something, maybe get some more other knives. You know what I mean? I just don't want to spend new money on knives. We've got so much going on. Who knows what the way the economy is. My wife and I are lucky. We're still at 100% maximum income. I mean, we're not have been stifled in any way, thankfully, which I know a lot of people have. We've have jobs. She's a GM for a large restaurant chain. And who knows? I don't want to spread any rumors or anything, but we've heard whisperings that even some Darden chains, she's not with Darden, but Darden is I believe, missed a big semi-tread in the road. Darden is Red Lobster, Olive Garden, and a few other big restaurants. Carrabba's maybe? I don't know. They are a big chain. If they don't get back to some sort of dining, everybody's doing to go. My wife's been real busy with to go, but if they don't get people sitting their butts in the restaurant soon, it's gonna be tough for a lot of these businesses. Just awful, I don't know, man. So keep an eye out. I got to do the ProTech giveaway. I've got to do the discussion on the new McGinnis Pro line. New to me. It's an older knife. I think it came from drop.com too, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I've just been more focused on family time. We got bicycles. We take the kids love to go for their bike rides. We live in it's really weird, our little neighborhood. We're kind of secluded. We've got trees and everything all in our backyard. Woods. I mean, you can go 100 foot back in our woods, but it's kind of like a maybe a 70-yard wide woods that go to the back, and it's directly in back of our house, so we could almost take the kids on a nature walk in our backyard. It's not our property. I think it's commercial property off of the back end of another. But anyways, if you go to our second story of our house, when there's no leaves on the tree, you can look and see a mall. And you can, like, there's a Subway like 5 houses down. There's a whole like business office park and stuff like within riding distance, so the kids can ride their bike in a parking lot. Or you can go the other way and like ride in a little like quaint little neighborhood. It's really nice. I like the location. I don't like the house so much, but we love the location. But you can jump, like, go down my little quaint neighborhood, jump across a 4-lane road, and you've got like Lowe's Foods. There's all kinds of restaurants around us, grocery stores, everything, like within walking distance of our house. But you go in the back of our house and it's just like nice trees, wooded, and stuff like that. Really nice spot and super convenient. Like, I can be boiling water and, oh, we don't have any pasta. I can like shoot down, and within 5 minutes I can run down to Food Line, get a thing of pasta, and come back. It's neat. So the kids have been liking to ride their bikes in that little neighborhood park. It helps my back. Some days, like, if my back feels tight, like tighter than it should feel, because I mean there's good and bad days. There was before the wreck, but now it's like some days it's tough to like get going in the morning because it's just stiff, you know. But once you usually get going, it's fine. But sometimes at the end of the day it gets stiff again, or like it's hurting. And I don't know if it's because I drive so much. I've got in my back seat here, I've got a bunch of like lumbar. I've got 2 different lumbar supports that you can put in to like help your back. But I need to start doing something again, because I mean, much like a lot of people, I put on some weight since COVID hit, because mostly mine's because of the accidents, not because I've stopped working anyway. Actually, like, chain wine business has been way up because all the restaurants are closed. So my job really hasn't slowed down at all. Costco's doing more business than they ever have. They're selling more wine than they've ever had. Sam's Club, the grocery stores, the boutique wine shops are doing like a curbside. You order your wine and then you drive through the front and they can run your bag out to you. I don't know where I was going with all that. Oh, bike riding. It's been awesome, man. I love it. Kids go for... It was always like a dream when I was like thinking about having children. It was like, oh man, it'd be cool to like go out and play basketball with them, or kick a soccer ball, or play catch, you know. My kids don't like baseball, so we don't play catch, but like throw football or go on a bike ride. So we look like, usually it's me in the front, all 4 kids in the middle, and then mama in the rear, and big old train of six people in the family on their little bike ride. Like, that's the stuff I value more now. So it's like, one part of me does like miss when I was 100% in the knife hobby, but the other part, the reality part, is it's like went back on my priority list. Rightfully so, I would think. I would hope nobody would be mad at that. But I do still feel like a pull. Like, I want like a new toy, new knife, new shiny thing, something to be able to make a video about, or you know, maybe free up some time. Or if I'm sharpening a knife, to do a live stream of it. It's easier than ever now. I've already got the studio set up in my garage. Just flip the lights on, hit the live stream button, and we could have a conversation as I'm sharpening the knife or something. So, stuff like this, like a rambling type vlog video, well, when I'm just riding, if this is something that's not making you guys sick bouncing around in this mount. I don't know. Maybe the audio's awful. I don't know, but I just figured I'd try this. If it's too bad, I obviously won't post it, so you'll never see it. So, anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to check in, let you guys know we're good. I'll cut in some pictures. I probably already have of the accident, the aftermath. There's actually airbags that come out of here. There was airbags that come out of the side seat right here, puffed out. And I think when I hit the car, obviously I was wearing my seatbelt. I don't even drive in a parking lot without clicking my seatbelt. My mother, from a very early age, the car doesn't move unless you're seatbelted. So I don't understand how people don't wear seatbelts. I'm not judging you if you don't, but I do. If I wasn't wearing a seatbelt when I got in that, I can't imagine. I would have just slammed. Like, just got ripped out of my seat. My head might even hit that and everything. It would have just been bad. It's just so weird that how calm it was. And that split second, I mean, there was seriously 5 to 10 seconds of not knowing if I was passed away or not. Because you hear, if you drown, I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, how do people know? I guess if you come back, if they're able to bring you back from drowning or nearly drowning, they say it's calm. It's a lot calmer than you think it would be. Like the endorphins kick in or something, and it's just a peaceful, I don't know. So I didn't know if I was in that phase, holy shit, what? I remember thinking though, when that car hit when the semi hit my car and start spinning me sideways, and I look up and I see a semi grill right inches away from my face. I remember thinking, I'm not dying. I'm not ready to go yet. And then shot off, looking at that big tree coming, and steering to the left of it, and then the car going sideways and smashing into a tree. It was just so weird, man. I'm glad I didn't panic. Panic, let your hands off the wheel or something. I would have shot straight at that tree and hit it. At that speed with that big of a tree, I mean, even little trees are into the ground good. It would have been bad, but I was able to call 911 myself. I got myself out of the shock within a minute or two. When I started talking to the pregnant woman who had stopped to help, everything was deemed, with the witness, everything was deemed hit and run. She's seen everything. You could see the marks on the car where he come into my lane. You could see the marks on the highway where he hit me and spun me out. There was black spots. You could see where I shot off the road and down the wet embankment. It left tire marks in the wet embankment. You could see where my tire marks barely missed the tree. I don't know how my rear bumper, when I start going sideways, didn't hit the tree on the very back right side of my rear passenger side bumper. Didn't, because I started throwing it sideways there, and you could see the marks where the rear tire went right by the tree. It's just bizarre. So anyways, guys, I'm good for mostly. Back is probably 10% worse than it was, but other than that, I didn't break anything. No long-term, my neck's not awful. It's still sore, but it's not bad. No broken bones, they paid for that car, and I got this car, and I still have a couple doctor things to do. Oh, I know I was going to be going, but when I did all my x-rays, because I did go to the hospital, my wife brought me straight from the accident. Once the record came and the sheriff got all the information, got the pregnant lady's story and all that, my wife took me directly to the emergency room. So I got all of my x-rays. And when they did the x-ray, when I originally thought I'd slipped a disc, I did slip a disc. like 3 or 4 years ago now. I actually had a cracked vertebrae. Like there's like, when they come back from the x-rays, the doctor was like, did you have a previous back injury? It's like, well, yeah, I slipped a disc. He's like, you cracked a vertebrae. I was like, what? He's like, oh yeah, look, you can see the, like where it healed right here. I was like, what in the world? No wonder it hurt so much. Originally it hurt so bad I couldn't even wipe my own rear. That's fun. I figured it out, but I mean, it was, you couldn't, it was bad. It was real bad. So it's kind of like nice to get confirmation that it was like as bad as I thought it was. And then he's still seeing some arthritis in between my back. Is that a thing? I feel like he said that. There's like arthritis in between some of my vertebrae. And I guess the way my policy was covered, it's the hit and run, there's $100,000 coverage. So if I need anything. What was so bad though, there was really no way to catch the guy who hit and run. Nobody on the highway reported it. But if he was in that lane and I was in this lane, if you were in the fast lane, you almost wouldn't have seen him hit me. He would have been, the whole semi would have been blocking my little car, right? And you wouldn't have seen me shoot down an embankment. It's almost like I disappeared, because at road level, you can't see me way down in the embankment around the tree. So the lady only seen it because she was behind us, and she didn't get a tag. She was just worried if I was okay or not, you know. And even then, I didn't get hurt. I literally didn't get hurt bad enough to launch some sort of investigation to see if there was cameras. Because I guess sometimes on 40 to monitor traffic, they have road cameras here and there, maybe on signs and whatnot. The sheriff acted like he didn't know. But when I was talking to my insurance company, State Farm, they had said they've ran into this a lot, you know, uninsured, a hit and run. Even if North Carolina had video evidence of it, of the person, of the accident, of everything, you would have to get a subpoena to make them give that footage up. And usually, even if you go through all of that trouble of getting the footage, they've already recorded over it. It's not like they hold those records for days and days. So it's just like, what's the camera even doing? Why are our tax dollars even going into a camera that's supposed to monitor traffic, and if there's an accident, you know, show video proof of the accident? You have to fight the state to get the video, and even then it's probably already gone by the time it's filed for the subpoena, get the subpoena, and it's a week or two later, and then you get the video evidence. Well, there's no video evidence then. Why? What sense does that make? I don't know. Maybe somebody knows more than I know, but that doesn't seem like the proper way that should be dealt with. But one of those things, I guess. All right, I'm really gonna go now. I'm almost at my count, anyways. It's been really good to talk to you guys again, just to get some things off my mind, let you guys know how things have been going. We're good. I'm not complaining. I'm here, and I feel really lucky to be here. And that's every day now. I've got like a new, I'm not saying like I wake up happy and everything's just awesome and I can't wait to get started with my day, but I really do look at things differently, and especially material things. So it's like a catch-22. I don't care about things. Of course, everybody loves a treat, you know, a shiny new knife or something like that. And I do want to get back into it, but I don't see investing new funds into knives right now. So that would mean I'm going to have to move something. So keep your eye out. I know some people are like, yeah, I'll probably sell a GC or two. We'll see. I was looking at eBay the other day, and some of those prices are insane. And of course, you know, eBay, sometimes people just ask, and they don't move at those prices. But I seen like a titty-ute, however you want to pronounce it, GC. That's the bare bones, plain, usually no billboarding, no threading on the bolsters, usually not a fancy jigged handle, no swedges usually, not always. Nail nick style, just bare bones, slip joint. It was like $270 some. So what? That's crazy. I remember thinking it was crazy when the Tom's Choice Barlow, I had seen those going for $300. But now just a bare bones, like, and maybe they were just asking it, I don't know. But it'll take me a little bit to figure out what I want to get. I'm not looking to make a killing if I do sell anything. It's just so weird because I've been buying knives for the past 5 years or so and not selling knives, maybe even more than that. I can't even think of the last time I sold a knife. Like, I don't do it that way. I just buy them. Then it's like, I'll just keep it around. And usually a big factor for that was to have them around as a character cast member of the channel. Like the pair of two versus this or all that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I'm like excited. I want to be back. I don't know if time will allow to be back, and I don't know how you can make a lot of videos when there's no new knives, you know. That's why it was nice when I got hooked up with Drop and they sent a couple knives. But then again, I don't want to look like a shill because I didn't get paid anything, you know. Just a good knife. They really got it figured out. And this is not something for drop.com. I'm just saying. You've seen some new content. It was like a couple of drop knives, and I think that was it. And then I got into the accident, so look forward to the giveaway, the ProTech. I still got to do that, as I still have the ProTech Fear & Forge collaboration to give away. So, all right, guys. For real, I'm out. Good to see you. Let me know in the comments below if this video was okay, as far as the audio and the rambling. I don't know. You never know how this stuff's going to work. I'm getting off the exit, so we're almost here. I'm out. See ya.